Sowieso ist gut, wenn du dran hast, dass man kann schauen. Aber sonst macht es nicht anders. Ja, da. So. So, hi guys, Privet. I will try to catch up with the comments also. Just let me know if you hear me good or not. Yeah, I guess you hear me good. I will try to catch up with the comments live, but I cannot promise that, yeah, whatever. If I don't answer you or miss something, just ask again, and I will try to, from time to time, go on. Hi, shout out. Yeah, and you can share the live stream all the time, because like this it can connect with more people, and it's yeah, like better for each of us. More people can see it, and I can stay longer like this, because I see it gets some attention, growth, etc. So, we are doing this a little bit on topic war piece, which I enjoy very much with my customer. And yeah, let's go. Okay, comments. Talk to some okay.
Das ist die Vorlage, oder?
Yeah, aber ich glaube nicht station. Guys, I don't know where to follow the comments. My customer where to follow the comments, so you can help me a little bit. You know, for now then I saw them on the gefragt, wie viele Tattoos willst du noch machen? Ich weiß nicht was. Also sicher der linke Arm wohl. Okay. So der dabei davon. Auf der rechten Seite die ganze Arm von dir. Ja, noch viel dann. Guys, I will try to answer the questions in what language you send them. So, if you want everybody to understand them, this was a question about my customer, so that's why I don't translate it. They asked him how much status more he wants, because he has quite a lot. He has the leg made by me, the other arm is also made by me. He's like supportive customer, loyal. Yeah, let me know if you like it, how it comes, if you see it good. I think you can see it quite good, actually. Goes now today I'm from my camera, so the quality is a little bit better. I hope. Yeah. Here is a chance to ask me whatever you want to know. If I can answer here, I would make it gladly. Now I'm comparing, should I make more live streams in YouTube or in Instagram? So last week I made one in Instagram. It was going quite good. I enjoyed it a lot. It was a big interest, about 60 to 80 people all the time. So for now we are 26, which is not that impressive actually. To be honest. Or whatever. Better 26 loyal than 100 unloyal, right? I don't know what you mean, man, with packing white takes more time than packing black. It's different. I don't pack anything at the moment. It's like gray wash technique with gray tones. So I don't really know what you mean with this. But yeah, white color is a little bit more specific to packing. Maybe that's, if you mean that, then I would suggest you to maybe slow down a little bit and try to concentrate your movements. It will probably get better results. But on the end, it's all what matters after healing. At the moment it could stay, the black cat could look very good packed, and after healing it will be not that solid and intense. So it's good to watch your tattoos after healing, how they stay, how they stay on the skin. But I think I know what you mean with white is a little bit more difficult to pack in. It's tricky color. Why I don't like white. I don't like to use white so much. But yeah, sometimes I do as well. Do you use grey ink? Yes, this is a grey ink from World Famous ink. It's Battleship Grey and Stonehenge. And the other one is black, and I just wash it down with water when I need it. But yeah, that's a grey tone. It's not a regular grey wash, like give it with water, just black, but it's also mixed you can say the comments. If it's something important, you can tell me, please. Some of them I answered already, so only if it's something new coming or.
Burak and the Grusso Burak. Have you changed the grey wash system?
What if I change?
Your grey wash system.
No, I use both. My grey wash I use still. Just it depends on what I'm doing. I also do with the grey tones. I see a lot of benefits in the grey tones. Like I already explained, I think in my paper, I explained why I move mostly to the grey tones because it gives me a lot of possibilities. And I'm mostly doing at the moment color stuff. So the grey tone technique is very, very, very close to the color technique in packing the ink under the skin. So I'm much more familiar with it, and I feel much more comfortable with it at the moment. But other than that, I can also make and create a lot of different values with the grey tone. Again, because it's a color based, it's not like tone based with the grey wash. Just it's a different technique. It doesn't mean that I don't like the other one or I completely stop work with the grey wash. But it's more like that every time when I have the chance, I have a good skin, I have a good project, I try to move to the grey tone technique, which is I like it very much actually. Almost a year I work like this already and I pretty much enjoy it. I saw a lot of field pieces, which I see a big difference. I mean, the quality is higher with the grey tones by me. Probably again because I'm doing a lot of colorful pieces and this is really similar to the color packing technique. But yeah, that's one of the reasons why I use it. I really like the outcome afterwards. And it's very easy for me. So, which one? The last one? No, Machina. Friend of mine. So guys, we are already 35. Again, share the live stream in your story or on your favorite social media so it can touch more people. And I will stay a little bit longer and try to answer as more questions as possible. Tell me if you want also, if you want me to make it more regular, like make it once or twice a week, or whenever I have a cool piece I can jump like in live stream and try to speak about it. Let me know if you are interested. But it will, like now it's a demo version. I'm trying out if it's gonna work, if I enjoy it. Like I said, I enjoy it a lot because I have a direct connection with you guys, which I very much enjoy and appreciate. Where you can also ask your questions and possibly get an answer. But yeah.
Question I started with 2 color.
And I noticed ink won't stay. No, like the comes out. Yeah, it's not mandatory, but if it's really, really sticky, the ink, I don't know what ink brand you're using, but there are ink brands which are a little bit sticky. You can dilute them with a little bit with the water. This doesn't change a lot the pigment, it changes the consistency, and most of the time it works good. You know, it's much better when you have it like this. A little bit more diluted, it's a little bit easier to pack in the color. Because for color packing it's very important to have enough ink in the tube itself while you're working. Like at the moment my tube is full of ink and I just try to scratch the skin wherever I can, possibly. And I always hit with a needle full of ink, and that's why it's like packing so good, because you see I have a drop, I make a short circular movements, pushing forward most of the time, and the ink packs very good in. And this especially because I really have a lot of ink inside. And then as soon as it's so thick, it's very difficult for you to load the needle with ink, and therefore it's much more difficult for you to pack the color. As you can see, sometimes I tap of water. I have a glass with water next to me, and I'm tapping there just to dilute a little bit the color. And this not only because I'm making the gray wash and sometimes I want to wash it out, but it's also to pack it in a little bit easier. So 45 people, guys, we're going up. Let's see if we can hit 60 knots. Yeah, 60 people. Let's see first. First milestone, 60 people. You can ask me everything, guys, not only about tattooing, but feel free. If you want to know about anything, whatever it is, future plans, traveling, whatever it is, I will try to answer. So here is your chance to communicate. So don't be shy. And try to type in English, please. Because I understand few languages, but yeah, English is the one which preferably to speak here in this moment. Eli Bambino, I understand Russian, but unfortunately I cannot speak. So you asked me about the blood machine. And I never work with it. I have a lot of guys who work with it, so I really don't want to give my opinion. I always say that it's like, machine is something what you have to choose yourself. I mean, this that I work at the moment with Stigma Rotary doesn't mean this is the only machine you can do the tattoos with. So as soon as you feel comfortable with it, it should work good. But I cannot really give an opinion even on the voltage or whatever you want to ask me, because I never have this machine myself. Originally I'm from Bulgaria, and I have a tattoo studio, and I'm working at the moment since 5 years in Switzerland, in Basel. And yeah, originally I'm Bulgarian. Can you pass twice from an already packing area? Actually you can, of course, but you have to take very much care on how the skin reacts. This depends on your technique, of course. It depends on the skin you're working on, it depends on your machine, it depends on a lot of stuff. But usually you have the chance to go second time, but you have to look how the skin reacts. Basically, if the skin is bleeding a lot, as you can see, my skin is almost not bleeding, so I'm working very soft and very gentle to the skin. I try to feel the color from the first pass as good as possible. Yeah, it is just possible that you can damage the skin also from the second pass if you really feel it very hard in the first one, or if you let it dry. There is a lot of reasons you can overwork the skin. But usually, like I said, one of the biggest like marks, what you can see and you can realize it's overworked skin, is where you have like a small hole in the skin, like looking like a wound, or it's bleeding a lot, or it's whatever it is, whichever of these stuff are happening, it could mean that the skin is a little bit overworked, or it starts to become overworked. So you have to really take care. Short answer, yes you can, for sure you can pass 2, 3, 5 times. But you have to be very, very careful and aware of what you're doing.
Sind besatzungsindividual located. Bestände vom Mann besetzt. Jetzt ist es any recommendations on back pains below?
On back pains? Back pain? Yoga in the morning, guys. I'm doing stretching, I'm not doing yoga, but I'm every morning, I have a very hard actually routine. If you're interested, I can also make a separate video on it. But it's, I had a big problems in the last few years with my back pain. Because I'm quite tall, I'm 191, and I had really big problems with my back pain. And I was searching many years of the good solution. First of all is of course try to work on a good position, try to be in a comfortable position all the time. That's the point number one. But I always suggest to all my colleagues and all my friends that building a routine in the morning, starting with a good exercise, eating healthy, all this stuff helping the pain tremendously. By me, for example, and this is already proved, is that I'm almost not allowed to eat junk food because for some reason, I don't know what is exactly the reason, I have an extreme muscle and back pain on the next day. As soon as I eat some junk, regularly 3, 4, 5 days in a row, I start to feel very bad on the next day. I start to feel tired, that's why I start my diet. My diet is not so strict, honestly said. I mean, I'm training 3 or 4 times a week, quite hard training, and I try to eat as clean as possible, rice, chicken, stuff like this. And each morning, without exception, I wake up at 7 o'clock and I make 40 minutes kind of meditation and stretching exercises. First, it helps me a lot with my mental health, and second of all, it helps tremendously in my physical health. And yeah, next to it, I'm training quite hard, so it helps me really calm down and keep my life in balance. Oh guys, now it's a lot of questions. What is your opinion on the 80 bunch of gray set based on your experience, which is the most great used? 80 bunch of gray set is amazing. I use it often, and I use it mostly by cover-ups because it's a very, very solid color, which I like in this case a lot. At the moment, for this piece, I'm not using 80 bunch, I'm using a different set. It's Thomas Carly, part of the Thomas Carly Jardier, also Marcus, if you don't know him, you can follow him. He has his own set by world famous ink, Noiring, I think, is the name of the set. However, no, it blocks just so what I was speaking is about the world famous ink. It's Noir set, but I don't use all of the sets. I use only 2 of these colors. It's the Stonehenge and the Battleship Grey. And those are, in my opinion, the best because they are dark, very dark gray, which I'm working at right the moment with it. And then I have the Battleship, which diluted with water makes a really, really clean, very light tone, and I enjoy a lot this combination. So for the moment I'm using only these 2, but I really, really like the Pancho set. This I cannot say. I worked a long time until I find this one. So yeah, both of them are amazing. It has a question about my gray wash technique because I suggest most of the people to work at the beginning with only with 2 cups of water. The reason, I don't know if Suvorov works like this or not, unfortunately. I know the artist, but I don't know how he works. It is possible that he worked like this. A lot of the Russian artists work like this. this is very, very close to the pencil drawing and to the carbonic drawing. Because there the technique starts from the hand movement and from the speed and from the pressure. And that's what allows you to build your own technique. I suggest it because it builds your hand movements and everything, and makes you think. Because the other one, the other technique is like very, very difficult to. It's based on a color packing. You know, if you have a lot of cups, you have to like, if you want to achieve the maximum results, you have to always pack the almost to the maximum the tone, because otherwise you will never see the difference between 5 drops black and 3 drops black and stuff like this. And this is pretty simple to the mind. I don't know, many artists work like this and they kind of feel comfortable like this, but from my own experience I see that again, and if you ask them, they are using like 2, maximum 3 cups like for 99% of the tattoo, and I think the rest you can achieve with glass of water. But like I said, this is my own opinion. I don't really want, there is no wrong or right way, this is my way just, and like I said, I share it with you. So you can try it out, and if it works for you, amazing. If not, not a big deal. It works for me, so it's totally fine. But yeah, it's possible. I have friends which work with only black, and they, if I can show you the tattoo, they make a pretty soft shadings and build up the whole piece, light and the dark tones only with blacks, only not even water. So it's amazing. What do you think of using coil machine and standard needles? Cool. I was working a long time with the coil machines and with standard needles, because when I started back days, was not so much coils, even it wasn't coils. At the moment from these big brands, they were not shy and stuff. Or this I wasn't aware of it. But yeah, coil machines are very nice. It's still one of the greatest machines, it depends what you want to do. The reason why I don't use coil machine, one of the biggest reasons, is because I need a lot of them. You know, I'm using at the moment 4 needles, like 7 round shader, 5 round liner, 7 round magnum, and 13 magnum soft edge. So it's like I have to have a 4 different machines set up. And the problem with the coils is they never work exactly the same. You have to be pretty familiar with the setup. So it makes it very difficult for me to have a machine for each situation what I search for, or otherwise I have to set it up all the time. And this makes my job so complicated that that I give up, honestly. I was too lazy, I give up. On the end it makes no sense if you're working like me, you know, if you're working this kind of realistic work or kind like realistic work, it definitely makes your life harder, and it's hard enough. So I prefer to keep it simple in this case and stay with the rotary, because I can be really fast in changing the needles. I can be really fast and I can achieve the same result. Also, vibration is non-existing by rotaries. And by the other ones are very hard vibrations most of the time. They are heavy. There are a lot of minuses. Of course, there are a lot of benefits. They have a very special hit and stroke, which makes them almost irreplaceable for some of the tattoos. For example, I can use a coil machine if I'm making something simple. And simple, I don't mean easy, but I mean simple. That I need just a line. And then I need color or whatever it is. I could use a rotary machine, but a coil machine, but I really don't see it like necessary with the technologies what we have now. I hope that answers your question a bit. When touching using the blades I keep them separate. Like I said before, 10 seconds, for 10 minutes I was like, I'm using different gray tones, and those gray tones are separated by cup. Then I mix them directly on the skin. thanks for all the compliments. My customer said that a lot of people like send me compliments. Thank you for this. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Really. Last year, I was not so much around in the social media because personally I have a lot to do. But I promise this year I will try to show more of the backstage process and try to be more around community, what we grow. We have a lot of followers which stay with me here in Patreon, and I want to give back to all of you as much value as possible. Just have to open up a little bit more free space. And I will do it. I have a plan to do it. Thank you for all the questions, my friend. I see you had a lot of questions. This will be not the last live stream, so stay tuned and I will try to answer as much as possible. So the question is if I start from dark to light or from light to dark. This depends. Most of the time I start from dark to light. This is really like 99% of the time I start from dark to light. And I try to build some kind of shape with the dark, and then like transition it softly to the white or to the light. But yeah, it's not rule. It's just the way how I like it. But it's much more comfortable like this, at least for me. And yeah, I do it like this. Light to dark. 6-7 passes are a little bit too much, especially if you let the skin dry. You know, try to make everything from the first pass. As soon as you're there, finish the piece you're working on, and then just go on and try to not come back as much as possible, because of course it depends on your technique how much passes you can do. But from my experience, more than 1-2 passes is dangerous, especially when the skin is healed. Not healed, but dry out. I mean.
On the left.
Why don't we use a lot of ointment before skin? I don't like to use a lot of ointment. You know, I'm always like putting a little bit so that the ink flows a little bit better. But because if I use a lot of ointment, sometimes it goes into my needle tube and start to bother me much more than it helps actually. I mean, from my experience, you need just a little bit so you have more wet and hydrated skin, but that's it. You don't need quite a lot of this.
Fotogesatsigkeit ist gerade noch eine. Am Cup.
When you are laying down, leg do back the leg and work down, stop. Oh, what? When you're laying down leg, do you take leg and work down? Aha, I understand what you mean. If I'm doing black, I start with a completely black part, you know, as black as possible, so I can reach the maximum and then I wash it out as good as I can. This is how I do it. I try to, because once I open the skin, it starts to get also a little bit red. Even if it's not hardly red, like you can see it on the camera, it starts to get red. And yeah, in order to see perfectly, I try from the first pass to fit the black in, and then if necessary, I will wash it out on the edges. I hope I get the question right, because it was a little bit, for me it's a little bit difficult to read an answer, but I'm gonna do it. Looking. Yes? If you use ointment, just try to use as less as possible. Just that you have like a little like fluid on the skin, not much more than this. It needs just like that. You know, it's not that it has to be full of this ointment or whatever. It's mostly just for that the skin, the ink can easily go around.
Dat klopt wel met trochę papierotjes.
Nee, nee. Oh, fuck. I asked me on journal. No, I never clean with dry paper. I'm cleaning always. It's extremely wet. It's extremely wet. I use just water, and I try to firmly wipe it away as often as possible, so I can keep the skin clean as possible. And of course, when I make break and stuff, I'm using the foam pomade lotion, which also keep the skin like away from bacteria and stuff like this. It cleans it very well with the green soap and stuff. So once in a while I clean with the soap, but this is mostly when I'm between the breaks and stuff. Other than that, during work I'm working only with
En dan zei dus die ganze Lage veranderen. 2 Wurst.
okay, thank you for you changed my whole technique with your Patreon. Thank you, my friend. Thank you that you're part of my Patreon. And yeah, I appreciate your good words. Means a lot. Truly means a lot, because it's a motivation for me to do it, and this means that I'm on the right way, or on the correct way for me at least. Those messages like this shows me that all I do makes sense. You know, it's not only about the compliment, but it's mostly about you. You know, when I see appreciation in you, it's not that I feel good only from the compliment you give me, but it's much more that I see that you guys progress, and which is my goal number 1. With this YouTube channel or whatever I'm doing. The tattoo is something between 45 degree and 90 degree at the moment. With me it's more like feeling. I don't have exact measurements on what degree or what angle I'm using. Sometimes it goes to 90 degree, sometimes, but I don't like it too sharp angle. I still prefer to have it like a little bit more close to 90 degree. But of course not every time is possible.
Voor de entering was het Lisa.
Thank you, Anthony. The white is from Intense. From Intense, from World Famous, sorry. My mistake. It's called White House. I'm working always with the same pack of needles. It's 7 Magnum from the Magnum 7 Magnum soft edge, or round Magnum, or whatever you call it, and 13 Magnum soft edge. For the really soft stuff, I'm using 13, but for the others, details and stuff, I'm trying to use 7 Magnum soft edge. Last times, the question is if I use iPad for stencil or I make it by hand. It really depends. Mostly I'm using iPad because I prefer to prepare the stencil at home, so the customer is not waiting me here in the shop, because most of the stuff I have designed. I know the design before, so it's pretty much clear what I have to do. And I'm preparing it at home, so that's why That's the reason why it's if it's project like this, which is very complicated and big and with a lot of details, I prefer it at home. If it's a standard portrait, I prefer it by hand because I try to, during the day, I try to familiar myself with the picture, with the portrait of the person which I will do. But for a regular picture from internet, even if it's portrait, I prefer to use it, to make it at home. This is on the iPad. One minute. That's good. Sounds good. That's perfect.
Darf ich noch eine Frage?
No.
On which stroke do you mostly work? Is it okay to use a liner for packing or vice versa?
Yes, for sure. It's okay to use whatever you like to use. Of course, liner is better for lining, obviously, but at the moment I'm working with 3.5 stroke from the Stigma Rotary spear, and I like it a lot. So it's like my favorite stroke is between 4 and 3.5, but with the technique I'm using, this is the perfect. I know a lot of people, like I said, it's really based on the technique you have.
And I thought, do you use solid black or just different gray washes? Because of groundwater.
I use the regular black, and at the moment the gray tones, the shadows are with gray color. It's not gray wash. So this means it's not water diluted in black, but it's black and white mixed in a different proportion, creating different values. But it's an answer already. I mean, we can go back in the live and you will see one of the first questions which I answered was exactly what inks I'm using.
Down the problem, would you make a video about making baby tattoos like on the back or whole arm or leg, about preparing stenciling first, second session?
Check out my videos, guys. I have a lot of videos on topics like this, how to start a big project and stuff like this. I can make a video about everything as soon as the topic is related and I feel me like that I have something to say. I will definitely this year I will try to make some new content, so let's see. Oh, we're 66. What we're gonna do? Some 15 minutes more or longer? I'm almost finished. I have to add after the highlights on the eyes. Yeah, we're done for today. I think more than 1 hour live stream is a little bit boring, or maybe not, I don't know. Let me know. If you go to 100, maybe we can do longer. Now we're 66, I think.
What do you say about FK Iron's Spectra?
FK Iron Spectra. It's an amazing machine. Really, I have the problem is, if you ask me always about the machines, I can work with almost every machine in the world. I mean, you can give me from AliExpress some cheap machine and I'm going to do the tattoo, and it will be more or less the same as if I do it with my favorite machine. Probably the like speed of the tattoo, I will need more time if it's some machine which I'm not used to it. But then on the end, the effect will be the same. So whatever the machine you ask, it's a good machine. Just it depends how you use it. I mean, for what you're using the Spectra. If you're using it for lines, it's super. If you're using it for shadows, it's also good. I really don't know what to answer. The question has to be a little bit more specific. No, it's a clean water. It's guy asked asked me if I'm cleaning with normal water or with green soap. Like I said, I'm using only clean water. But yeah, once in a while I'm cleaning with green soap foam, the mesh lotion, just to disinfect a little bit of skin. That's the reason why from time to time I'm cleaning with.
Where can I sign up for your Patreon?
There is a link in the description for my Patreon. Check whatever benefits they are. There are 2 chapters I think available because the mentoring program is full. And you can sign up either for one or for the other one. And then my Patreon have this kind of videos just a lot more longer in real time. You can ask your questions. We have a community, great community in Discord where we text with each other and stuff. There is a lot of benefits. Just check out whatever makes you comfortable, and if everything makes you comfortable, then sign up.
Oh shit, thank you for your video. That helped me a lot. Love you from Thailand. Ich bin mir 70 schon.
Ja, 70. Ja, sagst du.
Ich bin mir 70 los.
Alles gut. Sorry.
It's not in the water. It's refreshing that. Isn't it?
So. You should say a lot.
Du bist scheiße gemacht.
So the whiskey bottle beer for this.
Whisky bottle oder eine bedankt sich mal jemand.
Dankeschön.
Und der andere wird dafür.
If you're working on a hard area like elbow or some very difficult place like the triceps in this moment, try to probably not stretch too much the skin, but go like with a harder stroke and put out a little bit more the needle, slow down movements and try to feel the color as clean as possible. This could help more than just stretch the skin and damage it and hit the bone in this case or whatever. Try out. Usually on places which are very difficult, they almost don't stretch. It depends what you want to do, but if it's color packing, of course, you can just concentrate your movements, don't stretch way too much so you don't have this super hard resistance on the skin. Slow down, make a longer throw, use a higher stroke maybe, and try to pack it from the first time, like I'm doing. Here is also not the most beautiful place for work. But it works somehow.
Ich bin 80 Uhr sicher.
Yeah, we can get 100, I'm sure. If I stay longer. Should I leave the live after in YouTube or should I delete it? What do you think, guys? Okay, so here we have more interest than in Instagram. That's great. I don't know if you're sharing the life more or whatever is the reason, but I see that the interest goes higher with the time, which is very interesting. So I will do the next one as well here. So if you're not subscribed to my channel, you can do it now, because I think in the next days I will go on again. I don't know if it will be a black and gray or color tattoo. Thank you. I will do it, my friends. I will let it be. We will see. I have already 2 live streams what I did. So if it can help, then I will let it happen. That's the idea on the end. Like I said, the YouTube is so strange sometimes, let's say, because of this algorithm. That's why it's so important when we, at least in the beginning, until the people, or at least YouTube, realize that there is a quality in this stream. We need to share, reshare, and fire the attention on the video, so after this start to show it to more and more people. But yeah, this is algorithm stuff. As soon the algorithm realizes we have attention and people like what I'm doing, it will start to show it to more and more people like you, and then it works. But yeah, I'm also thinking, I don't know if it's going to be interesting. I don't know if it's going to be interesting, but like, I will try to make a video also not only about, I really don't want only to speak about tattooing and to answer the same questions all over again, because I answered these questions a million times already in the videos. What ink I use, what machine I use, what stroke I use. It's not about that. It's the whole mentality behind tattooing, and behind everything actually, to if you want to have a successful being. So I want to, because I have very beautiful customers. Most of the time my customers are very cool people. They're most of them friends of mine, and I'm not booking everybody who comes from my point, so it's like a little bit more limited. So all my customers are really close friends of mine most of the time, and probably I will make a poll. If you want to make it like, let's say, a version of a podcast, this was my idea, and to hear what we speak like for an hour with the customer, even about life, about experiences. Maybe we have some funny stories together. I don't know if this could be interesting, because if I make every time live stream and answer always the same questions all over again, I don't think that this brings any value. Of course, if the questions comes, I will not answer them. But I think it could be much more interesting if I can really show you behind the scenes, but like as pure as it is, how I communicate with my customers. Sometimes we have a lot of funny stories together, which now my customer watch me very funny, because sometimes our stories are not to share. Yeah, but yeah, but it's good. So we will be a little bit careful what we speak exactly. Definitely. Oldu?
Little bit doing things in the past and rest.
So yeah, the camera sometimes shut down.
Yes, it's good.
But yeah, we have a lot of cool ideas, I think. We are almost finished here, guys. So let me know, do you enjoy the video? So should I do it again? And can you make a video about what questions artists should be asking? What do you mean, what question artists should be asking? What question the artist have to ask the client, or what questions the client has to ask the artist, or what do you mean? Can you specify it a little bit more specific? Sorry.
Dann sehen wir, was es mir beschmuren.
Hmm?
Dann haben sie gesagt, was es mir beschmuren.
So I cannot share. It's a deep secret. Okay. My mental techniques. What is my mental techniques? I don't get the question again, sorry. Either I get tired from life, or how is your mentality when it comes? Always quality first, you know. I always say that we have to never sacrifice quality, whatever the reason is. And try to acknowledge the customer as good as possible and what honestly I'm able to do and however I'm gonna attack the piece, and the customer has to be well known what's going on with him. Like I said, I don't know what you mean with mentality techniques, mental techniques, but I try to be a pretty honest person, and I value honesty a lot in my life, and I try to give it to my clients as well. I mean, I try to show them, if something is not good, I try to explain them why it's not good, and not just act like a rock star and tell them, well, that's shit. Because, you know, the customers are not professionals. They don't know as much as we know, you know. And if something is very simple for you and it's very, very easy to understand, it doesn't necessarily mean that the customer is able to understand it always like you. This stands the same with beginner customers, beginner tattoo artists. So there is no stupid questions. You have to understand this, and in order to grow and to help other people, you have to understand, and you have to have this humility and this empathy to the people, which is very, very important. Try to keep it as clear as possible. You know, people feel much more comfortable if they know what happened, because most of people are afraid of the unknown. You know, it's not about the tattoo, it's not about that it stays for all life. Most of the time we have problem with the clients because we don't speak with them. We think that they have to know as good as we know, and everything is very simple, and they have to appreciate our work. And it is like this, most of the time it is like this. And there are customers who don't respect us as an artist, and that's totally the case. But most of the time, like I said, it's basic communication skills. Speak with the guys, try to explain them as cool as possible, as friendly as possible, whatever comes to them, because they don't know. You know, always come to the idea that most of the clients, they have no fucking idea. They want something, they even don't know how to want it, you know. They don't know how to ask the question. Not everybody is able to ask even the question like it has to be properly. So think about it, and also think about yourself. Put yourself in a situation that you go and ask for something what you don't know about. Think about how nervous you are. Think about when something new, and I don't speak even about so special stuff like a tattoo, which stays, imagine the first tattoo for a guy, for a client. This is something what stays the whole life in your body. And of course the guy is nervous. Of course the guy wants to be perfect. And for you, of course, you know this stuff, you know that it has to be perfect, you know that it stays for a whole life. But for the customer, it's necessary sometimes to say it. And try to reflect with humility, you know, try to be cool, try to understand them. And I think therefore we will never have problem with the clients. Because like I said, I almost never have problem with my clients. I have a really honest communication with them. And that's it. It's very simple, but you have to be humble. You know, that's one of the most important stuff. Be humble, be cool, don't think yourself as a very special, I mean, even though you're an artist, you know, many people misunderstand this old artist shit. Just be humble, this harms nobody. And my customer is confirming this with the head movement. Please. He's okay.
Ти не можеш стеймати, то стеймати записуєш.
Yeah. Yeah, he said that he just give me a topic and then I work my design out, but this is exactly again because of the trust he gives to me. You know, he don't give me any time a finished design. It's always me who made the design for him. And this is exactly because I win the respect and I like win the trust in him, or in, like this is 80% or 90% the case with my customers. So I almost never work on a design print or goals like because from the customer. This almost never happen. And the reason for this is not because I'm great or whatever we think. It's just because I really try to make the customer feel comfortable in my hands, and I try to explain to him exactly whatever comes to him, and that I'm here to help him and not just to make my portfolio bigger. And yeah, these are, in my opinion, very, very important stuff.
For the love of
When I mean the environmental technique is like when I start to have clear don't brush just one thing. This is a very good question, Bob. Yeah, great question. You know how I remain calm during the process, especially when I have a hard tattoo? I do my homework nice. I do my homework nice means that I plan good. You know, I try to do the tattoo once in my head before I start. This means that as you know, you go through a checklist in your head before you have a project, before you have whatever tattoo you have to do. You have to answer some questions for yourself. Where are you going to put white? Where you put your black points? How do you want to position it? From where you're going to start it? Which needles you're going to use, etc., etc. These are a lot of, like, sounds like a simple stuff and like easy to answer stuff. But it's not, you know. And if you don't answer them before, if you don't like clear your plan before, it's very difficult after for you to deal with all the problems together. And that's why the rush starts, that's why everything starts. My advice on you for reducing stress during the process is to do your homework, especially when you have like very difficult piece to do. You know, if you have like something that you're not completely sure how to attack it, go one time in your head from where you're gonna start. Ask some questions like where you're gonna put black, what needle you're gonna use in which area, how you're gonna make this case, how you're gonna make these details. And if something is not completely clear answer, then concentrate and think about, if necessary, draw it on a paper, if necessary, draw it on the fake skin. You know, there are a lot of ways you can practice. But my advice for you to reduce stress during the tattoo process is by really practicing preparing yourself. It's really by preparing yourself for the piece, so as less as possible stuff happens which are unexpected. Because during the tattoo you have enough troubles to deal with. Like you have to deal with the skin type, you have to deal with the customer pain, you have to deal with distractions, like people ask questions, etc. And if you're not prepared perfectly, then it's very, very, very difficult for you to stay focused all the time. And this is what I want to say. Be prepared, try to be as clean as possible with your head. And I think then you will reduce the stress and you will reduce also the pressure. And this helps a lot in the mental game. So we are almost finished with the tattoo, guys. I mean, I had the highlights. I will now just try to stick up some details here from the plane. So I hope you enjoy it. Definitely I'm gonna do it again. I think definitely it's gonna be in YouTube, because I like the attention from you. Thank you all for the questions. I appreciate each and everybody of you. But I think now I have to stop it slowly. And yeah, finish the piece, clean it, put. Nobody asked me anything about aftercare. Nobody asked me about traveling, all this stuff. So this maybe are good questions for next time. Nobody asked me about photographing the piece. No, yeah, there are a lot of questions which remain open. So think about this. Maybe next time we can discuss some of them. And yeah, as always, I will keep the stream in internet for the next, for sure for the next week. I will see if more or not. But yeah, check it, share it, like it, comment it, so it goes up in the algorithm and more people can see it, and ask your questions on the. I try to answer each and every one. Sometimes it's a little bit difficult, of course, because of the rushing days we have, but yeah, just ask your questions. Yeah, like I said, what's my aftercare process? Now I remind you for the question. But yeah, this I will answer next time, guys. I mean, too late. It already goes too long. I mean, I finish it now. It's a long process. There is few ways. I will go over all of them next time. If you are back and if you ask again and if you answer, and I will for sure going to answer this. But for now on, I will keep it like this. Thank you very much for coming, and I see you next time.